Tell me about your first memories. Welcome back to Stacked, everyone. Episode 134.
I thought
35.
Chris was about to say something, so I was
like,
giving him the stage.
He was at a loss.
Think of anything.
It's okay. None of us.
I mean, I
remember it.
have an answer, but I don't know if it's...
Yeah, mine's not even interesting.
It's not very interesting. I don't know if it's...
I
good
believed when
podcast.
I was a child.
You believed?
Do you believe?
Well,
You weren't a child, though.
my
We
first,
grew you in a
my
lab
first
3 years
memory
ago.
was pre-birth.
What?
What,
What do you...
looking at-
Wait, what do you mean? You gotta elaborate on that.
Like my soul, not even my physical being.
Let's hear about it.
Yeah, what do you remember?
This is Brandon's origin story, everyone.
Here we go.
So let's.
I
How about
always told my grandma this, that I played chess with God and I beat him,
Whoa.
And that's why you're here.
and that's why I'm here.
That
God
is...
damn it.
That is so alpha of you.
That's so lame.
What? Imagine like beating God in chess, and it's like, all right, send me down, man.
And,
I'm ready.
And
for
this is what comes down. This guy.
Come on, come on.
I
mean-
bet I could beat you at chess.
Probably.
Maybe
I've
everyone.
not been
maybe
honing my
God's really
skills.
bad at chess. That's why we're all here.
You have
Not to like take away from your special moment.
No, it's fine. I feel like maybe there's like a little rule, or like before you go to Earth, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Beating
It's
God
like
in
Seven
chess is a
Seals.
prereq for life.
And then maybe like for death, you have to beat, the Grim Reaper.
Oh, like
And-
in the
and
Seven
he's really
Seal.
good, yeah.
Yeah, that's
And everyone,
good.
most people lose.
I'm
Okay.
lost.
I'm lost too.
Lost.
Let's go talk to the show. hey, what's going on, guys? And welcome back to Stacked. As you can see, I'm in the chair over here, so you know what that means. You probably don't, because not many people watch our draft episodes, but it's a draft episode today, and I'm
Let's do
hosting
it.
the show. Today, we are going to be talking about origin stories. Origin stories, because this weekend, Transformers 1 is hitting theaters.
One.
The origins for those iconic robots who turn into cars.
I always wondered.
How do they do that?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they weren't always transforming into cars, because these things are like billions of
They're
years old,
aliens.
right? They're aliens, yeah.
They're
but then
alien robots.
they learned how to transform themselves into cars.
Well, no,
Isn't
these
that-
guys can't transform. If you've
These
seen
one,
the-
oh yeah. in
They,
this
so they have to
movie.
learn
They're
how to
learning.
So
transform.
that
It's like puberty for them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a great origin
It
story
kind
is.
of reminds me of Monsters University.
Oh, is that the vibe you're getting?
Yeah.
Josh Cooley directed it. The director of Toy Story 4.
Directed Transformers.
Transformers 1, yeah.
Well,
Hope.
I've heard good things about the movie.
Yeah.
Trailer
You have to
looks
see it.
awful though.
The trailers have been awful and have
Hmm.
made me not want to see it because I'm a grown-ass adult. But even people who are adults are saying it's good. It's good fun. So
Could be.
we'll
be a
see.
surprise hit.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna be doing a little draft pick of origin stories. I tried to get origin stories of all kinds here.
All right.
There's only 2 superhero origin stories in this list. The rest is an origin of something or someone in some way.
Okay.
So
Is there an origin of our discontents?
maybe, and like our prejudices. We'll see. We'll see if that film makes the cut. Probably not, because we've talked about it all day today, so it wouldn't be surprising. But yeah, let's get into our draft of origin stories.
Origin stories.
I totally forgot to do orders. So
Okay.
maybe I'll make the wheel right now. Should I do that real quick, or how should we do this?
You're the game master. If you just want to make the order,
Let's
that's
do
up to you.
All right, let's do Cards Against Humanity. Who pooped last?
Last time I pooped was this morning.
Mine was
you poop this morning?
probably around like 9 a.m. at work.
Mine was like 11. Man, you were pooping
Okay,
on
so
the
you
clock.
already beat me.
Okay,
You already beat
Brandon.
me. Brandon, when'd you poop?
I think I pooped at 11.
Oh, I rock paper scissors.
This is the last time you guys have pooped.
All right.
You've had a whole meal in
Rock
between
paper
this.
scissors shoot. You win.
All right.
So
Brandon's
Brandon,
first.
me, then Joey.
Yeah.
Okay,
This works.
that's
I
easy.
like
Right
this.
down the line. Okay, so we have our orders. Let's run down our picks.
All right.
If you all consult the screen here, of course we got a classic one first. I feel like you can't go without Batman Begins. That is like the origin story. Batman Begins. Come on.
Yeah.
Then we got The Godfather Part 2.
I have to do a draft eventually.
What?
I haven't done one.
Well, you can do whenever you want.
It's Ethan's draft right
Yeah,
now.
I just decided to do it today. Godfather Part 2, the origin of Michael Corleone. Very popular movie amongst people. The Founder.
Oh,
My
You
great
can't
choice.
have an origin story without the origin of McDonald's
Oh, of course.
and Ray Kroc.
Ray Kroc.
There he
There
is.
he is.
The Founder. He looks
crunchy.
like he's about to found something, and that's the most iconic fast food chain in the world.
You know that pose that he's doing there?
How about that
can't
pose
believe
he's
this.
doing there?
That's the pose of a businessman.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Next we have Mamma Mia. Here we go again.
That is an
uh,
origin film.
it's
It is
Yeah.
an
An
origin
origin
story
film.
of Meryl Streep,
Where Meryl Streep came from.
where she came from, how this all happened.
How
How she
ended up
slept
here.
with all those men.
Yep, how she slept with all those guys.
So good.
Next we have Monsters University.
Yay!
See?
Great
You're just
movie.
and I was like,
Classic.
okay, well, you'll be excited for this episode. So Monsters University. Then we got Prometheus.
Okay.
Ooh,
You know, that's a
topical.
very we just, we talked about Alien Romulus 2 weeks ago. Now we got Prometheus,
Yeah.
the origin of the xenomorphs, of our own creation,
Mhm.
Next we got Rise of the Planet of the Apes, the origin story of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Next we got Steve Jobs, the origin story
I do like that
of
movie.
Apple and Steve Jobs.
How come you didn't do the Ashton Kutcher one? You know,
I haven't seen
Remember
that
when
one.
there was like two? There was like
Yeah.
the Ashton Kutcher one.
That
and
one
then
was
they did
just
the
called
one
Jobs.
with-
Yeah, Steve
right?
Jobs and Jobs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jobs. I picked Steve
Seen
Jobs.
that one either.
Exactly. So that's why I didn't pick it. And then last but not least, we got X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh man,
Right.
someone's got to take it.
Yep. So I want you three to make a really comprehensive and beautiful triple feature out of these 9 films. Brandon,
Well,
All right, Brandon,
You
you're
are up
first,
first.
man.
what is your first origin story that you are picking?
I think I'm going to go with The Founder.
Yes. Why? How come?
I just think it's a quintessential movie that not only shows the origins of one of the world's biggest companies, but like American westernized, globalized culture. Because I remember when we were learning about like
McDonald's.
McDonald's in
school.
school.
That's what American school is like, Chris. That's part of U.S. history.
We'd be learning about like globalization and stuff like that. And McDonald's was always the first thing because it was one of the first like chains to be like all around the world.
franchised?
Yeah, franchised all around the world. And this film sort of depicts that, and it's not just a slice of corporate cultural history, but it's a slice of world history.
The world.
The world. And
Yeah.
it's a fantastic movie. Michael Keaton's great. It's underrated, and it's diabolical.
Yeah.
And we need a little bit of diabolical.
We need a bit of
The
a little
origin
bit
story.
diabolical. Yeah. What do you guys think of The Founder?
I mean, it is just like it's the tale of capitalism.
Yeah.
Where it's like a product is invented, and if it's proven to be profitable,
Exploit
people
it.
will find a way to
Yeah.
exploit that to no
Right?
end. And as we've seen, that's what that story is about. So it's, yeah. I mean, that's really what it is. If anything, you could see it as the origin of like capitalism.
Of whatever late stage capitalism we are in today.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It
That's
is
the
kind of a
50s.
tale of like
Yeah.
20th century, like post World War II, like American, like the economy
Yeah.
boomed, and there was just all these little businesses that were opening up.
It was like directionless.
Yeah.
Because like people had ideas, but they were directionless, and
Yeah.
they were trying to find purpose.
They were just trying out things,
and their purpose was to wreck
and
the
eventually
economy.
everything just got sucked up under a monopoly,
Yeah.
as we're seeing now. So
A burger monopoly.
Chris.
Yeah, I'm the same boat as you guys. This is a really, really fun movie. I remember, I think Ethan, we were talking about this once, and we said The Founder has kind of achieved classic status because it comes up in conversation.
I feel
You'll
like-
hear people talk about this movie, from
Which
time
is
to time.
weird. 'cause
Maybe
that
I
movie-
feel like cult classic status. you
Maybe,
know?
yeah.
Like,
you know what it is? It's a very accessible movie.
It
It
is.
is.
It's the kind of movie
It's-
like my parents would watch it.
It's
Yeah.
such
You
an
know?
easy movie to watch, and I think it's one of my favorite like simple 4-star easy films to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're like, yeah, McDonald's.
But there's still enough substance there.
Yeah,
that it
because
gives
exactly.
like
you
Michael
something to chew
Keaton,
on.
Yeah.
he does a
It's-
good performance, but and it's like it's interesting because
And
you
it's
get to
fun.
See, yeah, I like the scenes when they show like the operations of the
Yeah,
kitchen
how
and
they
stuff.
figured all that, like the McDonald's brothers, how they did all that and pioneered
It's an
like
orchestration.
exactly.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's a fun one. Like
Greasy Symphony.
I don't know if we're doing steals, but
You have your eyes on it.
I might have my eye on
We
this
are
one.
going to
We'll
be
see.
doing
We'll see.
steals,
Yeah.
and everyone gets one steal
Okay.
in the round. And once a movie's been stolen twice, then it's gone.
Got it.
Gonzo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's locked.
James
Okay.
Gunn.
Okay.
So, okay,
Great.
that's your
Brandon's
first
up
pick,
first.
Brandon. Chris, let's move on to you for your first origin story.
I'm gonna go with a happy one. I'm gonna go with Monsters University for my first one.
Far out.
Monsters U. Okay, so I think all three of us really like this movie.
I like it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I really like it.
Yeah, I personally really like this movie, and I love the first Monsters Inc. But I think what Monsters U does really, really well is not only give us that endearing relationship between Mike and Sully and introduce us into this world and kind of expand things a little bit, but also it's a great story about friendship and finding who you are, which is very much something that you go through when you attend college.
Yeah.
I remember I watched this, I think, while we were in college, and I remember thinking about it and realizing that it's actually a surprisingly authentic portrait of what it's like. You know, kind of that anxiety of your first day and trying to fit in, trying to find where you fit in, and finding out who your friends are and who you are.
Right.
And that really was delightful for me. Yeah, and I think, you know, it's not my favorite of Pixar's films, but then again, there are very few Pixar films that I'm like not hot on. I generally really like the films they make, and this is definitely up there. Like, this is probably a 4 on a great day, 4.5 for me.
Whoa.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. You know, it's not the upper echelon of Pixar, but it's definitely still, you know, it's worth having.
Joey has strong feelings.
Joe, you like this movie a lot, don't
I
you?
love Monsters University, and I think it's a great, it's a great prequel, but it's a great origin film about, you know, these beloved characters. And you'd think, like, why is it necessary? And I think the film has, like, a really great message. And I don't want to call Pixar movie kids movies because I think they're accessible for people of all ages. But I do think within the lens of, like, okay, these movies, like, kids are meant to engage with them.
Yeah.
And it has a fantastic lesson that the dreams you have can change as you grow.
Yeah.
Because Mike has this dream of being the scarer. And which is a surprise because, as we know in Monsters Inc., he becomes like the tech guy. Like he's the guy behind the operation, with Sully being the scarer. And just seeing like his journey, like realizing like his true place.
Yeah.
And that the dreams he had when he was young like didn't exactly pan out, but that's okay. You
Yeah.
can still find your way. And I think that's a fantastic lesson.
Yeah.
So that's why I think this movie like really, you know, stands the test of time, because I think that's a timeless message, and that really resonated with me.
Yeah. Sully also has a great character arc in this because he comes in as like his dad's like infamous.
He's like a nepo.
He is a
Yeah,
nepo
he's like a
baby.
he's a nepo baby,
Yeah.
and he kind of learns to humble himself and kind of find where he belongs on his own terms.
Right.
Which I think, yeah, kind of similarly to Mike, they kind of mirror each other in that way. And yeah, that's all great stuff. And Randall is also a very fun side character antagonist here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon,
With the
you
retainer.
like this one?
I go back and forth.
Okay.
I really like the last third of the movie.
I think that's where it's strong.
I
Yeah.
think it's so strong. It comes out of nowhere because
Yeah.
like the first 2/3, while a fun college movie, are like kind of operate against the lore, and I usually don't make a big like deal out of it. But if it's a prequel and an origin story, like sometimes you see the original film and it makes sense. But watching this one, there are points of this where I'm like, it doesn't really line up with what the filmmakers had intended or had written in the original film. So for me, it's an inconsistent origin, but one that's still fun nonetheless.
I think like I kind of like how inconsistent it is a bit, just because like you get to see how they've grown.
Yeah.
Because you think of a Monsters Inc. prequel, you just hear that on paper, you're like, why? What's the point? But then you find out, oh, like Mike and Sully, they didn't fuck with each other at all when they first met each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that leads to a lot of cool stories because there's such an iconic friendship,
Yeah.
you know?
Wait, we'll pick it back
No,
up.
it's okay. Let's. What do we got?
Hey,
What do we got here?
what we got?
What's
Thai
up?
food?
What's
Is
up?
that
What's
Thai
on the
food?
menu? Come here. No, you got it. You turn off the lights. Now you get to see. All right. What did Tori get for dinner? Let's see what we got here. We're gonna have a little mukbang right on my lap.
All right, what are you betting? I bet Thai food.
I know what it is.
So Ethan's gonna eat her food.
I'm not gonna eat it. I just want
Curry, coconut curry.
coconut curry.
Gotta be.
Ooh, it's hot.
Oh, it's tonkatsu. Okay.
Tonkatsu. Tom Kha.
Tomkasu.
Tom Scott.
Tomkasu.
And a rice.
Not tonkatsu.
Great.
Great.
Enjoy.
Sounds delicious.
You're good.
You're good. That was funny.
I thought you just turned
But you had to just announce your entrance. That was dramatic.
All right.
Um,
Monsters University.
Yeah, so I love that the like relationship growth between
Yeah.
the two because it's so different from when we first meet them. I don't know what it is about this film, but it doesn't feel Pixar to me. I don't know if it's like the college setting or like
I think it's a very
or maybe
cookie
like
cutter
Pixar.
story.
I just feel like Pixar in the early 2010s, like this and Brave, for some reason don't feel like Pixar to me. And like The Good Dinosaur, you know? It was like a weird patch where I don't know what it was about. Maybe it's like
they
the
just
animation
weren't-
quality.
They weren't reaching their heights.
Yeah.
I would say that. Like, and as much as I really enjoy this film, I will say it doesn't like hit you as hard, or I don't think it's like necessarily
Yeah.
as innovative. Or those other films you've mentioned, like a lot of those, I think the story just doesn't really stretch the boundaries that some of their other films do.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a generic story that has a really good message.
It sticks the landing.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really sticks the landing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it's a totally serviceable like Pixar film.
Yeah.
Which like serviceable for Pixar is like that's still a good film.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
Just a
that's
disappointment.
That's on par for the rest of their works. No, I'm not saying it's disappointing. I'm just like, I'll never see it at the top of my list. You know, but that's why I put it on this list because it's just like it's an interesting origin knowing where they were before.
Yeah.
You know, cool. Okay, good
right
pick,
on.
Chris.
All right, Joey.
Joe, what's
All
your
right,
what's your
well-
first one?
To continue the trend with picking lighthearted options, because I'm looking here and I feel like every triple feature, you need something lighthearted in there to make it more palatable. So I'll take Mamma Mia. Here we go.
Oh,
again off the
wow.
board.
Wow,
What a table turn.
Yeah.
Turn.
that's
whatever.
unexpected.
I'm
Stands on its
not
own.
like huge on the Mamma Mia movies. I'm not like crazy about them. But I will say this one, it's a lot of fun. You could tell that these movies are a bunch of these people getting drunk in like in Greece or wherever they are,
Yeah.
and just having a blast making these movies, and it radiates off the screen.
It's
It
a
does.
better Adam Sandler movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I guess
it
so.
kind of is,
Adam Sandler movie without the schlock. In terms of like
Yeah.
friends getting together and just making a movie in a great location. They're on vacation essentially.
I mean, I feel like it's schlock in a different way though.
It kind of is. I get it's like
You know?
it's a wine drunk kind of schlock.
Definitely. That's
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Adam Sandler's like beer drunk.
No.
Yes. No. I agree with that.
I want to
agree
be
with that.
stone cold sober watching these movies.
I need to take in every detail. No, it's
Dude,
getting
you
it's getting
cannot.
wine tipsy with your
Oh.
mom and watching Mamma Mia. Here we go again.
You gotta
And
get-
I don't know. I can't tell you exactly what happens in this movie.
I can.
It's
I know
of
you
course you
can.
can, but it's ABBA songs. Lily James is such a crush. She's so beautiful and like so good on screen, and
So beautiful.
and,
You
I
sound
love,
like
and
Trump.
also
Why does
Such
he
a
keep
crush.
Colin Firth. I love that guy. I
Yeah,
will
he's
watch
great.
that, and I will watch him in just about anything. And
He's
it's
not a
just
person.
I don't know. It's attractive people hanging out in a fun location singing silly little songs. So I don't know. I'm picking it.
It's a
Whatever.
beautiful origin story. It's very. The only thing that's inconsistent about it is their looks, how they're supposed to look from the original
Sure.
movie.
What do you mean?
Okay.
There's like a little thing that if you watch the original Mamma Mia, which I'm sure you don't remember.
No, and I don't think I'll ever watch again. too.
Yeah, there's like a Meryl Streep sees them and she like fantasizes on what they were like in the 70s, and it's not how they are in this. Like they're stereotypical, like surfer dude and stuff like that. I guess they kind of capture that for Stellan, but the other two, no. Anyway, very good movies.
Forget that Stellan's in this.
Stellan's great.
Yeah, what a
Such a
cast.
random.
Did I watch it? I'd watch this movie with you too, right?
We forced him to.
yeah. You
I
forced
think
me to.
I think we locked you in our apartment.
It's better than the first one.
It is so,
It is
so
not
better.
an Ethan movie.
I've always said
No.
this one stands on its own from the first
It's-
one.
That is that's an iconic saying.
Yeah.
In the Stack podcast.
It stands on its
Stands
own.
on its own.
Stands on its own.
stands on its own.
Yeah, this is a fun one. I don't have too much to say either. It's just like it's a lighthearted movie. The characters, they all have like their fun little moments. Their music is, I mean, Ethan, maybe this ain't your type of music, but for me, like I can get behind it.
I love him.
What's the name of that song that's on the boat that you and I both like? Why Not
yeah.
Have to Be Me?
Yep.
That's a great one.
Yep.
I mean, I like ABBA. I think ABBA's great.
Just not when they're doing
I
Mamma
just
Mia.
don't like this story and this setting and this tone. Like ABBA's like disco music for me, you know? Like I want to be in the clubs to ABBA. I don't want to be like on the boat. Or the guys in the fucking scuba gear and flip
That's the first movie.
That's the first movie. Never mind. Still, it's the it's
You
all,
get the idea.
it's all the same. They're all the same.
They
to me.
are.
No.
They are. You get the same. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, you get the same thing.
You
out
get
of
the
each
exact same.
No,
thing.
you
The
get a
only
lovely
difference
story.
Is with the first one, like the coloring is way overexposed.
I will say this.
That's like the only.
Let me
difference.
say this: the Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again is the Godfather 2 of sequels.
Well, that's why.
Wait,
Wait,
wait.
What?
So what's
Mamma
the
Mia
Godfather
2 is the
2?
Godfather 2 of sequels.
Yeah.
So what's Godfather 2 to you?
Yeah.
The Mamma Mia of Here We Go Again of sequels.
It's great. It's great. It's because Mamma Mia 2 is like the same structure as Godfather 2. Hear me out. Hear me out. You got the main timeline story with Sophie's rise through the hotel business.
You're right.
And then
I drafted this movie, and he remembers like way more
Yeah.
details than I.
Get
do.
ready for him to steal it from you. There's no
Take
way.
it, please.
and then no, you're stuck with this. You made
Okay,
this.
okay,
choice.
I'll take it. I drafted it for
Yeah,
a
he
reason.
chose
It's the first round. I didn't have to.
No one gave it to him. You just.
I'm
Sorry,
stuck
you're
with it.
stuck with it. Sorry, sucker.
And then
You could have picked 7 other films. You win that one.
And then the flashback story is of Meryl Streep's character, and that's just like Marlon Brando, Robert De Niro rise to fame within the. It's the same. It's the same story
It's the
structure.
same.
It's
It's
great,
same movie.
and it's awesome.
It's awesome. Okay.
All right, that's
Round one.
All very unexpected picks for this first round.
You
for
would
me.
say?
I did not predict.
We went lighthearted. Round one was
Yeah.
lighthearted.
Round
All
one's
right,
lighthearted.
let's
So
get into the meat.
let's get into number 2. So Brandon, what is your second pick? What are you getting into in this triple feature?
Well,
What's
I
next?
mean, the founder was like a foundational piece of media.
The founder was
would you
foundational.
say it is? Like, would you say it's Cornerstone Media?
It surprisingly has a large cultural footprint. Just saying. I think I gotta go Apes.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
I
nice.
think Apes just feels right for this because it differentiates itself by genre, by time period, and it's not your traditional. Like if we're talking, we have 2 superhero films on here. I think it's different enough, and it tells a really compelling story about Caesar, but it's not really about him. But at first, it's not really about him.
Yeah.
But it slowly evolves into that, and that's such a very unique place for an origin story to be. To have your main character of the film not be the main character at first. And I think that's great. And I think that's something that differentiates itself from the other films on this list. Where like the origin focus is on like Batman or Wolverine or Mike and Sully. They
Or
are
Steve
the central
Jobs.
focus.
Or
Steve Jobs. It is. So, but it's Caesar. He's technically the focus, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's not until like that last like half that you see that. So yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I really like the Planet of the Apes movies. I mean, certainly Rise is, at least for me, the lesser of that trilogy.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah, I agree.
Functioning as an origin story, it nails what it's going for. Like Caesar's rise is really captivating, especially like as you kind of not only see him grow in his intelligence, but when he finally learns to revolt and the iconic first time he speaks.
Says no.
I mean, like last time I watched this movie, I literally passed out when it happened, and I just slept through the rest of the movie.
I don't know if that's a compliment.
Oh,
It knocked you out.
it blew me away and it knocked me
His
out.
socks were halfway across the room. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But yeah, this was a really fun movie. It's the more I think lighthearted relative to the other 2
Yeah.
films in the trilogy, but nonetheless, it's a good time. The set piece and the classic Golden Gate Bridge set piece, you gotta have it. Anytime you set a larger film in San Francisco.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of plays its cards close to the chest, but I think in terms of as an origin story, it nails what it's going for.
Joe, how do you feel about this film as a San Francisco Bay Area movie?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a cool
Cool.
Bay Area movie. You see the apes swinging in the redwoods and whatnot. Like,
Yeah.
very cool. I don't know. I've never been like as enamored with Planet of the Apes as I think you guys are. Because I remember recently you guys were doing the rewatch of the
Yeah.
trilogy and you saw the new one. I didn't see the new one.
Wild.
I think because I think it's like a Toy Story 4 situation.
What?
where you have this nice little package trilogy with a great arc, with a great central character, and I don't need to see more. I don't care if it, as Quentin Tarantino said about Toy Story 4, I don't care that it's good. I don't need to see it. I don't want to see it.
But you would watch Planet of the Apes, right?
Which one?
The first one.
The first one,
Yeah.
the original.
Yeah.
I guess I would, but I don't know. Like the idea of like apes running on. I know that you're gonna crucify me, but like it's just not
I'm just
really.
gonna shoot you.
It's you pull out a gun right now. I don't know. They're just not really my jam. It's like movies that I appreciate more than I enjoy.
Okay.
Like I do. I agree with every praise that you'll give about these films. I think the VFX, the visual effects, are like groundbreaking. I think Andy Serkis is phenomenal. Arguably should have been nominated multiple times for the performance. I'm just not. I think maybe the apes, like the cruelty that they experience, is just a little too disturbing for me. If I'm being honest, it makes it a hard watch. It's not a movie. I'm never like motivated to throw on a Planet of the Apes movie.
You can't make faces at him for that, Brandon, because you said Grave of the Fireflies was too sad.
Too sad.
Too sad.
You know,
It is
it's
too
just
sad.
not my vibe.
Yeah, that's- I get
it's
it.
just not my vibe.
Apes are not
But
real.
I appreciate them, and I think this is a good movie. It's a good origin movie. I think as an origin film, it's very good.
Yeah.
It's just not one that I would want in my rotation
'Cause
personally.
I think it's like, especially now, like post COVID and 2020 and shit, like looking at that as a virus, it's interesting, you know, as opposed to like the original where it's all like a nuclear allegory. It's like this origin has aged even better in this decade. All right. That's Brandon's second pick. Chris, what are you getting into?
Well, I'm looking at this and I see that there not only did we have that lighthearted trio going across here, but I noticed that throughout we also have like little business themed things. We got Founder, we got Godfather, the Family Biz, and we got Steve Jobs. So I think I'm gonna do a business themed one for my next one. And
Guess I already chose one.
Prometheus is also a business theme.
technically, yeah, Wayland Yutani, yeah, that's true. But I think for me, I'm gonna go with Steve Jobs for this one.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah, this came out in 2016.
2015.
Yeah, it and I think we mentioned it before, but this came out kind of side by side with an Ashton Kutcher led Steve Jobs biopic called Jobs.
Has anybody here seen that one?
No.
I did.
You did? How? Okay, compare.
Well, for me, I think it varies because I think this film kind of takes a more cynical look at Steve Jobs, kind of digs into him as a person rather than the innovator, if you will. But I think the other film, Jobs, kind of takes a more romanticized look at the great genius, the innovator, the man who
I see.
put it together, you know, and like I'm not going to be the one to say which one's the more accurate version, but even though I do probably think this is more accurate.
Yeah.
But regardless, as a movie, I also do think this is a much more compelling watch because Jobs is an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, and they don't shy away from it throughout the movie. And also, by the way, I gotta say, Seth Rogen plays
good.
Steve Wozniak.
Yeah.
And this might be my favorite performance of his.
Yeah,
He is
that's fair.
excellent as Wozniak. It's such a dissection into this guy's psyche, his relationship to the company and his family and his own sense of self as he gets like kind of moved out of the company and back in, and the kind of moral compromises he makes in pursuit of this kind of dream of like reinventing the digital space.
Yeah.
You know, he's a complex. It's very much a more complex character study rather than like an overall like glimpse into the world of Apple. There's some great dialogue, incredibly well written. The script is fantastic.
Sorkin's best.
This is Sorkin, right? I forgot.
It is Sorkin.
Yeah. So you kind of have that kind of snappy, quick-witted dialogue, but it works. And and also Fassbender is magnetic as Jobs. So I really dig this movie. It's one of those movies that I feel like I see clips of a lot these days, just like floating around. But man, it's great.
It's cool. I love how it's structured. You know? It's like each act is before a different presentation, right?
Like a product reveal.
Yeah, before a different product reveal. And it's just like it's just a master exercise in like explaining history while not showing it, you know?
Yeah.
I agree.
Because usually for film you want to show not tell, you know? But I feel like they do I feel like they do show it with like innuendos and like the history the characters have in their relationships in these moments. So it's not. It doesn't feel like. It never feels like exposition.
Yeah.
It
reminds me a lot, at least in terms of what it's going for in its storytelling, to Fincher's Social Network, in terms of the examination of the character and what he does and
I was gonna put that one on this draft, but I felt like I don't know.
once you have one,
I feel like a lot. We've talked about Social Network a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't talk about Steve Jobs enough.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have anything you want to say about just Steve Jobs?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
I've only seen the clip where he says, "I'm the conductor and you have your place in the orchestra," right?
Yeah,
He tells
something like
Wozniak that.
yeah,
I've
he's
seen
like
that scene.
like
I feel like that may just sum up the thesis in like one.
Yeah.
Not really. Not 100%.
No, I'm not saying 100%, but I think it like definitely hits a core beat. But no, I haven't seen the movie, so I can't really talk about
I thought you did.
No.
It's hard sometimes. I don't think you've vlogged every movie you've watched.
I
on
haven't.
Letterboxd.
That's the thing. When I signed up for Letterboxd, like I didn't go through the whole like, what movies have you watched? Because I'm like, I just want to get started. Like, get this out of here. I'll catch up eventually.
Did
But
you?
no, I haven't seen this one.
We'll watch it tonight.
Okay,
No.
that's Brandon's movie. Unite.
I do
I'm
love
vetoing.
Steve Jobs. No, I do love this movie. I think it's a great representation of how one man has, it's in each of these movies. It's always an origin story about the individual, yes, but in this, it's the individual in the relationships to the other things in their lives. So it's with his daughter, or estranged daughter, or estranged wife, or partner. You've got Wozniak, his friend and business partner. You've got his like close confidant and assistant, played by Kate Winslet, and then the company and his former boss or like co-leader, at Apple. And I think that is it's so elegantly like goes between them that it doesn't feel like disjointed. Okay, we're now talking about this person and their connection to Steve Jobs, but it never loses sight of the fact that this is all about him. And that he is a narcissist and he is an asshole, as it is like much publicized. But that doesn't make him any less of an important figure or complex like character to analyze. And I think that's what makes it such a great biopic as well. Because not every origin is a biopic. Because sometimes they'll just tackle a piece of their life. But here it's like you get to see it in different stages.
And I feel like, it is origin because you get to see the growth of like this
Exactly.
almost cult of personality, like tech guy. You know? Like,
because before in his first product reveal, like yes, he's well known, but it's not until like the iPhone, iPad days, like
where it's like,
wow,
he's, like,
he's a legend.
He's the god of technology.
Exactly.
That's how people see him.
But he's not though, because he didn't make
And
the
he
stuff.
died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and gods are immortal, but he's not. Sorry, sucker.
He lost the game of chess. He lost the game of chess.
Yeah, he lost to death.
But-
dead bet.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Great second pick, Chris.
Cool.
Joe,
Joey.
what's yours number 2?
Oh man. What the hell? X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
All right.
I'm gonna kind of. I'm.
You're phoning it in this episode.
I'm
just
scheming. I'm scheming right now.
You're
Always making
you're good.
trades.
I'm scheming right now. Yeah, I'm gonna take this one. Did you know James
Just
Mangold
trade back.
directed this? Right? Didn't
No,
he?
he didn't.
No, he did. Wait, I thought he did.
He
And then
just
he
directed-
Gavin
I
Hood.
thought he did both.
He directed the Wolverine and Logan.
Gavin
But-
Oh,
Hood
but I
did
thought
this
he
one,
did
right?
this, and then he got a second chance with Wolverine,
Oh,
and then
no.
he continued with Logan. He was like, wait, I can do it better. Okay, never mind. No, he didn't. What can I say about this movie? Kind of
let's hear it.
sucks.
Kind
It's interesting.
Deadpool's like completely butchered in it. But I will say, like, Hugh Jackman like delivers as always.
Yeah.
And the bone claws are so grody and that's what I have to say about this movie. So I took that one off the board. So that's my second.
This
pick.
was also one of the last superhero films shot on film.
Yes, that
Was
is
it
true.
shot on film?
And it
Yes,
like
it
there are
was.
some scenes where it looks really pretty.
Oh yeah. The,
When,
It's
it's
then
not,
poorly
when the
produced.
CGI
It's
is not the
yeah.
problem. The CGI is the biggest problem with this movie.
Yeah.
Those claws do
Whenever
not
the
look
CGI
great.
comes out, yeah, because they decided to not go practical with his claws,
Yeah, it's like
and it's super noticeable.
especially in the mirror.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
scene, yeah.
And this is a victim of the writers' strike
Yes,
that happened
it
there.
was.
So it's just an interesting piece of history.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's one of the biggest like victims of it. That and then just to parallel that with Deadpool and Wolverine as well, because that is
Yeah.
also a writers' strike film.
Yeah.
Just goes to show what happens.
Yeah, this movie kind of falls in this in that era of X-Men where they'd have like hit, dud, hit, dud.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I enjoy it for Hugh Jackman, pretty much. There's not really much else to it. It's funny that like Will.i.am is in this movie.
Oh yeah, he is. It's
Yeah.
like a teleporter. I don't know his
I don't know. There's not a whole lot to bite on with this. Like there's the scene where we get to see how he got his adamantium claws is cool.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like I can't tell you anything that's like really vaguely interesting about this movie.
It kind of is like an iconic scene. Like
The-
everyone knows the shot when he's coming out of like the bathtub
Yeah.
with his claws.
Yeah.
And it's
You
from
know?
this movie.
Yeah, everyone used that shot, but it's like from a horrible ass film.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
I don't know. I think this movie, like X-Men: The Last Stand, had promise, and I think they capitalized on that point in the industry where we weren't oversaturated with superhero movies, and that made it feel even more real and authentic. You know, because like it should be having it be shot on film, it does give it an amazing look, and I think probably like the first half hour of this movie, I'm kind of on board. You know, I kind of like where it's going, but then with all the other superheroes, I think it gets just bogged down in this like superhero team up like sort of thing.
Like they bring in Cyclops into it.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
why?
Gambit
Yeah.
kind of
Frost.
appears at one point.
Gambit.
And
it gets lost in the sauce for what should be a Wolverine focused movie, which is what the next two films do so well,
Yeah.
I think. And fun fact, this movie had a premiere at Harkins Theaters in Arizona, the world premiere.
Why?
Wow.
lovely.
Why?
Why there?
I don't know. I don't
You
know.
know?
Maybe it was a writer's strike thing. They didn't want to hold it in Hollywood.
Probably.
But a little bit of pride there, even though the movie sucks ass. Like that last hour is rough. What they do to Deadpool.
Yeah, that is. I mean,
The climax is stupid.
to the extent that like Deadpool eventually had to fix it himself.
Yeah.
Like literally went back and killed it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know what this movie sounds like.
What?
What
What do you mean what it
sounds like?
sounds
Because
like?
this is the movie that's on at the gym on TNT
Yeah,
at
oh my
2
God.
p.m. with subtitles on, and there's a commercial break every 3.5
TNT
minutes.
loves this film.
Oh yeah,
They love showing
and it's
this
just
one.
on at the gym in the background, and you catch 5 minutes there, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I know what they're saying. I don't know what it sounds like though. I don't know what the score's like. I don't know what the sound design is.
No.
And I don't care to know.
I have to rewatch it.
no,
Honestly.
you don't.
I
No, you
rewatched
don't.
earlier this year and it's awful.
I want to rewatch
Worse
it.
than the last time I watched it because it's just like I don't know, just everything that was bad about early 2000 superhero films is like encapsulated in there. Personally, but yeah, well, you're kind of scraping up my stinkers, dude.
Mamma Mia's not a
You're
stinker.
kind of taking out the trash.
Mamma Mia. Yeah, Mamma Mia is not a total stinker.
Yeah.
But you're scheming.
I want to keep. I'm making things interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Round-
I'm going to see what you do with this final round. We're in the final round, boys.
Brandon, what are you gonna go
Dini,
with?
what is your?
I think I know
first
what you're
pick?
gonna go with.
I don't know. It's tough.
Really? There's a 5-star movie for you right there.
Yeah, I know, but like, does it fit in with the rest of the features? I think it does. I'm gonna go with Godfather 2.
The Mamma Mia, here we go again of sequels.
Yes, exactly. I think this movie is a terrific examination of two people's origins, you know? So you've got different kinds of origin stories for me, if we're highlighting it. We've got the founder, which is the origin of a company, less of the man, you know? Caesar is about,
A company,
well, no.
Ape Incorporated.
No, a specific ape, but it's done through a very unique way of doing it. And much like Mamma Mia, here we go again, which I'm choosing not to steal because
Nobody wants to steal.
no, I just feel
Guess
comfortable.
I didn't make this a competitive episode. Okay.
It's because Godfather 2 at least has the same sort of structure where it's highlighting the origin of somebody within their like organization as well as the origins of that organization to begin with or another person's rise in that organization. And I think what's so compelling about it is an American story, much like The Founder. And it's a rise and fall. You're seeing two things happen simultaneously. And the way it's done by Coppola, it's so effortless in that it's like a 3.5 hour movie and it just feels like it goes by like that. And the reason of it is you're so compelled by the characters and their relationships to each other because they're all family, right? And to see to see it just coalesce in like a massacre at the end, but also a christening is like kind of beautiful if you think about it.
I don't remember how this movie goes.
You don't?
Is that weird? I
remember
I can
Godfather
tell you what
1 really
happens.
well.
Yeah, I know Godfather 1 pretty well. I don't know this one pretty well.
That's so
haven't seen
sad.
What?
I've only
Oh,
seen
wow.
the first Godfather.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Did I
I've
just
only seen the
spoil
first one.
Godfather 2?
No,
No,
I
I
don't
think you were
did
vague
because
enough. You
even
were
when
vague
you said
enough.
that, I don't really. I'm like, I'm not connecting any dots.
It's just it's a tragedy, but
is.
and that's why I decided to go with it because the other
Yeah.
two films are like
and it's a really great film. I just don't remember it for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's too
as a
long.
Coppola head, I thought, oh, Joey Cena.
I'm the only one here who's seen Come From the Heart though.
Wild
So,
from Heart.
That's my
whatever.
Coppola card. that
I
I'm
know.
playing.
I don't want to see it so bad.
Peggy Sue Got Married.
I've seen that.
That's a good one.
You guys seen Dracula?
You seen Jack?
Bram Stoker's.
Oh, I love Jack.
Yeah.
Oh my
Back
god,
in the
Big
day,
butt
man.
head.
movie's so good.
That's a beautiful film.
Yeah, we like Jack
It's
though.
cool.
I like Jack.
Jack, yes.
Excellent
With
movie.
Bill Cosby.
What?
He's
Yeah,
in the
you
movie.
don't remember Cosby?
He's the teacher.
He's the
Oh,
one
I
who's like he's
forgot.
tickling,
and
love
they're in the
birds.
treehouse and they're farting.
Yeah, that checks out.
Nah, the
I
dots
just
connected
skipped
there.
over Robin Williams' beloved Hollywood.
Yeah, you went
legend and
straight to
to
Cosby.
the rapist.
I guess I was I took a drink of a liquid and fell asleep during the movie.
Okay.
During Jack.
Took a drink of a liquid
Yeah.
and fell straight up asleep. Cool.
Jack's good though.
Godfather's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Godfather's good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the second two.
Have you ever had Godfather's Pizza?
No.
It's weird to have a part.
Wait. Yes, I have. We went there together.
When?
Back at a point. Okay, moving on. Chris, what do you have to say about Godfather
Isn't
Part
it-
Two?
Maybe I made that place up.
Guys, isn't
You
it
don't
weird that a part 2 is like a prequel, sort of?
Well,
Kind of.
Oh, it's just university.
Yeah,
and
but-
Mamma Mia, here we go.
Yeah, but
again.
they're not given the part 2 moniker.
I guess not.
So it's kind of weird to be like part 2, but
Here
then
we go
you-
again is kind of a part 2.
Yeah,
moniker.
that's
Here we go
That's again.
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 Again. Part 2. Again.
Anyway, but yeah, Godfather Part 2 is fantastic.
I feel the smugness.
Similar to Ethan, I have like a pretty vague memory of Godfather Part 2, but I for some reason know Godfather Part 1 really well.
yeah.
I fall asleep during that one.
But
Fall asleep during
nonetheless,
every
this
movie.
movie's fantastic. I think the thing that jumps out to me most is kind of that perfect duality between
Man.
Vito and Michael's storylines
Oh,
as they kind of intersect each other. Oh, not intersect, but
Well, I guess.
run parallel.
Parallel,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
a better way to put it. Yeah, it's a tragic story. You are deeply compelled by everything he goes through and everything he puts himself and his family through. It's really dark, but like it's one of those like I don't know. There's that joke in Barbie that men always got to tell you about the Godfather, and as much as I hate to,
And they got to start telling us about Godfather 2 because nobody remembers.
yeah.
Yeah,
Men-
it is funny that I feel like in Godfather Part 1 is talked about like extensively, and even though Part 2 is just as like revered,
I
like,
think it's
it feels
more
like-
revered.
I feel like it's like a lot of people say it's even better,
Yeah.
but like people don't like talk about the specifics of Part 2 as much as they do Part 1.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
no one talks about Part 3.
No.
Justifiably.
I haven't seen it,
I haven't seen that one.
It's just okay.
which is sad.
Just
that
okay.
could have been great.
No, it's like they miscast with a Coppola, and that is a problem.
It's a problem.
It's a problem because she's a big part of the
Serious-
movie, and
serious
she
problem.
sucks. Sorry.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Well,
Sophia.
there's your stack so far. Let's
I
run
feel
it down.
comfy.
You got The Founder, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and The Godfather Part 2.
Whew, all right.
Wild. Chris,
My turn.
let's finish your
Come on,
stack.
I know it's kind of like it's staring at me because it's like, yeah, of course.
Has
Batman.
Joey even seen
But-
Prometheus?
No, Joey's seen Prometheus.
I have seen.
Okay.
Prometheus.
Like,
See, I didn't know if he did.
know what?
That was the
Yeah,
one I
so-
felt like was a true gamble. I thought he'd seen the rest.
My heart's calling me to Batman Begins, so I'm gonna listen to it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Nolan's first jab at the superhero genre.
Yeah.
And I think he does a really great job. This movie does get a little bit of flack from some people, but for me, I think I certainly think it's better than Dark Knight Rises. But I also think as an origin story, even though they didn't necessarily, we all know
they didn't
the-
reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, they didn't reinvent the wheel with any of it, but a lot of what it goes for is fantastic. I really like Christian Bale's relationship with Liam Neeson in this one.
Ra's al
Ra's al
Ghul.
Ghul and Bruce Wayne. I think there's a really interesting parallel in the way that that Bruce Wayne kind of learns what justice is, at least on his terms, and how it counters the way Liam Neeson sees it.
Yeah.
It doesn't reinvent the wheel. It doesn't like kind of push the envelope in the way Dark Knight does. However, it's still a very, very solid origin movie. It gives us everything you need to know about Batman. And yeah, Scarecrow's great. Cillian Murphy, he's one of the most celebrated actors these days. Oscar winner Cillian Murphy is also excellent as Scarecrow, at least in my opinion. There's not much else to say. It's a Nolan movie, so it's beautifully crafted. At least like the set pieces look fantastic, and it's just it's a very well produced movie. It's not necessarily a movie that's like gonna like change your life in the way that some other movies may. However, as an origin movie, you could do a lot worse, and I think it's pretty good. But you like Batman Begins, don't you?
I think this movie is, and granted, I haven't rewatched this trilogy in a long time. I think this movie is pretty on par with The Dark Knight, and I'm not
Hot take there.
But I'm not really like a big fan of. I like both movies quite a bit. I just think they're like equally as like watchable movies, and I think they're doing different things. Like one's a more of a compelling dissection of a crime, like well, not a crime. Like the sequel is more of like a moral dissection of people.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is, like you said, bread and butter origin story for a superhero. But what sets it apart is it feels so much more gritty and down,
especially
in the
for
dirt.
its time.
Yeah, because back then, with the Marvel superhero movies and even some of the DC ones, like they're on the lighter side, goofy or at least like sarcastic, tongue in cheek.
This movie definitely started that kind of like everything's got to be dark and serious kind of fad,
right?
That Hollywood went through for a few years.
And I think that does it justice with a character like Batman, who, while is not as unhumorous or inhumorous as he is in like certain things. Well, because he's more humorous in like the cartoons.
Yeah,
and, like,
and
Batman or Robin.
And
They need to get as far away from that as possible.
Exactly.
That's why this movie exists.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think that's a justifiable and good choice. And I think Christian Bale does a really great job at depicting this, his like evolution as a character, maturity wise.
Yeah.
And Nolan does a really good job at portraying this guy's life from childhood to adulthood.
Yeah.
And then to superhero. So
Yeah.
it works.
Joe, you got anything you want to say about Batman Begins?
It's been a very long time. I remember when I was a kid seeing this movie in the theaters. And being,
Wow,
like,
you saw it in
freaked out.
theaters?
This was
Yeah.
my first movie in the theater.
I don't think I've ever seen like only the Batman.
The new one.
in theaters
Oh.
is the only Batman movie.
Batman vs Superman.
That doesn't count.
Yes, it is. His
Barely.
name is first in the title.
He's not the protagonist.
He is. He's co-protagonist.
I don't think so.
Anyway, I don't remember like this is another one of those movies. I feel like I've seen a majority of these films, but like most of them are movies I haven't seen in like maybe a decade.
It's
so
funny.
I have very little to say.
I think you remember more of X-Men Origins than you do
we're-
of any
I
of
wanted
these
to get a
other
short
movies.
episode out of this.
Yeah,
one.
I don't know. I'm at a lot. This is what I'll say. Okay. This is what I'll say about Batman Begins. I think that this movie started a ripple effect.
Yeah.
And you touched on that with Batman and Robin. The Joel Schumacher movies came out, and they're ridiculed. At least the second one. I think the first.
Batman Forever, some people like.
Yeah,
me and Brandon
Batman
like that
Forever,
movie.
and it
It's
did
enjoyable.
I
it
mean,
did
because
okay.
that's why it got another one.
Yeah,
Because I
it
think
did okay
people
in the
were all
box
right with
office.
it.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
People were okay with it. It sold toys. I guess that's
It's
what the studio cares
interesting.
that's what the studio cares
Yeah.
about. But this movie introduced the idea of like superhero movies being very like the realism and the groundedness. And I think Bryan Singer almost got there with X-Men, but there's still like fantastical elements to those movies.
It's
But-
very much still an early 2000s sci-fi film.
Exactly. It's very science fiction. This one, Christopher Nolan very much grounds these films in reality, almost as if this could actually happen.
Right.
And that kind of,
did.
I think we're still even seeing the ripple effect in that.
Yeah.
Definitely DC tried to continue that success with the Snyder movies after Nolan ended his trilogy. Man of Steel and the Batman v Superman ones, he gave it this really gritty and dark and like kind of grounded tone.
Yeah.
And even with the Marvel movies, like we're even seeing Brave New World come out, and that's like a very topical film. It's a political thriller.
Yeah.
Is essentially what they're
I'm
doing.
not sold that it's going to be any different from the rest of the Marvel movies, though.
Well,
No, that's-
I'm not
that's
saying
what he's
it's
saying.
different. Yeah, what I'm saying is, it's like I think Batman Begins, Dark Knight really is what kicked it off, but Batman Begins was the catalyst.
Yeah.
That started this trend of like, oh man, these superhero movies need to be like
They need to
grounded
be
in
serious
realism.
movies.
feel
Because
like
before
it's
this, we had like Raimi's Spider-Man movies.
I just
And Raimi
yeah.
brings like he has
Camp.
such a like playful, campy
Yeah.
like tone to his films, which I love. I love Sam Raimi; he's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But Christopher Nolan changed the game with Batman Begins and The Dark Knight,
because he's trying to make people take his films and these type of films seriously.
and they did. He
Yeah.
succeeded.
Yeah,
He succeeded.
that's the reason why we got more Best Picture nominees at the Oscars. It's the reason why Heath Ledger is like posthumously known for his movie.
He won
role
the
in the
Academy
sequel.
Award
So,
for Joker.
yeah.
That's unheard of. An actor winning for a comic book movie, a comic book adaptation.
Yeah.
10 years before that, it was unheard of that these movies could succeed in Hollywood.
At all.
And then
Yeah.
you see an actor win the Academy Award for playing the role. So I think
Yeah.
it changed the game. I
Definitely
do
did.
think it
It's
did.
a cultural.
But I don't really know
shift
how
as
I
well.
feel about it personally.
That's
I haven't
that's
seen
fine.
this movie since maybe I was like 13 years old.
Yeah, that's,
Joey's got the weirdest triple
And-
feature.
it's interesting that people are like also like tired about Batman's origin story, but this is literally like the first time we explicitly see it in a live action film.
That's true,
In the
yeah.
first one, we get flashbacks, and those work in Tim Burton's.
Yeah, it's always like little flashbacks.
and
here
then
there.
in Snyder's, it's like it's also a flashback, and not even mentioned in the first Batman. I mean, it's not shown, but it's talked about.
Yeah.
In Matt Reeves' Batman. But this is the only time we fully get to see him like train. What he was like as an adolescent and stuff like that.
When he was
And
first Batman.
his first night on the job.
and he fucked it up.
And he fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wearing that fucking ski mask and whatever with a stapler. Yeah, I think it's a very interesting film historically wise for
Yeah.
this
I
genre.
should rewatch it. I've seen The Dark Knight countless times. I could talk about that movie for hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
But
that movie.
this one and Dark Knight Rises, I don't have much to say.
It's fun to go through those as a triple feature. We did it
Yeah,
recently.
we did that when we lived together.
During
and
the
an earthquake-
hurricane, right?
it was
The hurricane.
Oh, yeah, it was the hurricane.
LA
Yeah.
hurricane.
because
which
we had
was
nowhere to
just a
go.
rainstorm.
That's
Yeah.
right. We had nowhere to go, so we were just like, let's just watch all the Nolan Batman movies. It was great. It was fun.
The last things you ever watched.
The last things we ever watched, because we're all technically dead. We lost our game of chess. So that's gonna be a
Callback.
through. That's a good
Look at
callback through line for our episode.
God damn it.
Well, all right, Joe. We're in the final round here. Are you going for Prometheus, or are you gonna pull a tricky steal? What's happening?
Well,
what do you think about?
let me try to play nice first, Brandon.
No.
I will trade you your beloved Mamma Mia for the
Ooh.
Founder.
No.
Why not?
Because I already have a movie.
That's not an answer.
I already have
a movie.
I already have The Godfather, which is a very similar storytelling of it.
As he stated, what the fuck just happened? Hold on.
Nobody move.
We're back.
Okay.
Sorry. That was me.
We're back.
We're back.
All right, so you denied that trade.
No. I don't want it.
You don't want it?
No.
Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna steal Monsters University.
Okay. Wait, so how does that work? Do I just get
Prometheus?
Do I just
Or
get
does-
Prometheus?
or
So
does-
you now have Prometheus, but you can we'll still like have a round,
to discuss that movie.
yeah, to discuss the film, and if you want to make trades, and use your steals, because now you're out of your steals. Chris and Brandon, you still have a steal, so I'll have one last round if anyone wants to steal, and then we'll go to trades. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you've taken
I
Monsters
want
Inc.
Monsters University mostly because I want a movie that like I thoroughly enjoy and can talk about on
Yeah.
the surface level in my stacks. I'm gonna be honest. This is not my selection. Today was not my day
Not
in
your
terms of
episode.
the picks. This
Yeah.
is not my episode. But I love Monsters University, and I want that. I want it in my stack. I think it's a great origin film,
Yeah.
and yeah, I want it.
Okay.
I want it, and also I'm trying to keep my triple feature as lighthearted as I can. There's a lot of like heavy shit on here.
Yeah.
And you get Mamma Mia, you get Monsters University, you get Too Big, and then you get like a stupid. You can get like
Yeah.
Drunk or High and like laugh at
Wolverine.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Okay.
So it's like a fun night all together between these three movies.
Yeah.
Keep Prometheus or
You know-
steal?
Since Joey is going for that more lighthearted approach,
What the fuck?
mine is real dark.
Yeah, it is.
I kind of like that.
That is kind of
Batman Begins, Prometheus, and Steve Jobs. Yeah, I love a
Jobs
moody.
dark.
I love moody films.
I think I just did you a favor. to
You
be
kind of
honest.
did.
Steve Jobs has a light ending.
Isn't he dead?
He dies.
I guess that's the implication.
So you hate him.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well, yeah,
you know,
Chris,
like
you got Prometheus now.
I'm
mean-
kind of happy with where
We
I
haven't
am.
talked about Prometheus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we?
Yeah.
Let's talk about
All right.
Prometheus.
Well, Prometheus. Oh wow. Okay, so this was Ridley Scott's return to the Alien franchise
after like, let's see, 79 came out in 2012.
Like 40 years?
About around 40 years.
30 to 40 years.
Well, Aliens 45th is this year.
so 33.
33. Okay, look at that math. Nice job.
Good job, guys. I could never.
I
have
had a
done that.
money shift at work yesterday.
A money shift, is that what they call
money.
it?
He was counting the money. You know what I mean?
He's got numbers up there. Right?
Yeah, he's kind of the numbers guy.
12,
today.
14, 7, 4,
Yep,
5.
yep.
Yeah.
I
But yeah,
agree.
Prometheus, it changes things up a little bit for the franchise. It's less of a contained singular piece.
Yeah.
I think it's more expansive. But the thing about Prometheus that I think is the biggest distinguishing factor is that it's less about the intimate human with it, like fighting against a xenomorph and trying to
Yeah.
survive. It's more of like a philosophical, like human condition story.
Yeah.
And like, what is it to be a human? And when we meet our creator, what does our creator have in mind for us? All kinds of stuff like that. Some people were not too hot on Prometheus. Some people might have felt it's a bit
Too distant?
from
Yeah.
that kind of adrenaline that I feel like a lot of us might get from the Alien movies.
Yeah.
But for me, I like it just fine. I like my Alien movies somewhere in the middle. I love like that singular survival story when it's married with those like complex themes about existentialism and capitalism.
Yeah.
And you do get some of that here. But yeah, for me, Prometheus is a worthwhile origin story. Probably not my favorite in the franchise,
Oh, yeah.
but still lays a lot of great groundwork and introduces a lot of cool ideas, like the black goo. I think that's fascinating.
Yeah.
all the stuff with was it in this movie or the next one where the deacon appears?
The deacon appears at the end of this one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of that stuff with like human experimentation and everything like that, I think is really fascinating. Also, the engineers creep me out a lot. So
Yeah.
I think they're cool.
I mean, they're interesting for sure.
Yeah.
But they creep me out. But yeah,
I used to really not like this movie because I think I watched it when it came out.
we were pretty young at the time
And
too.
I was still a fan of Alien, and I was looking for something that was more like Alien. And if you're like a kid watching this,
it's gonna like
it's hard to connect all the dots because it's very like
slow.
it's very slow, and it's like it's not explicit in its connections.
Yeah.
Because like you see like the deacon at the end of the film, and you're like, oh, so I guess it's an Alien film, and that's like the only signifier that it's Alien besides the ship.
Yeah.
Not the
Nostromo.
Nostromo. The
Yeah.
the curvy one.
Yeah, the one that looks like a horseshoe
Yeah.
ship.
Mhm.
But then, so I rewatched it after watching Romulus because I was like, oh, I'm going to give Ridley Scott's films another chance, and like the existentialism in it is so good.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Like, yeah, all the like
Kind of ballsy for the studio to like greenlight this.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it, like you look at the first Alien, and you're like, and you look at Prometheus, and you truly understand like what parts of that first Alien were like, what Ridley Scott truly valued in that film, which is like the capitalism, commentary that runs throughout it, the sort of creationism, commentary, and like that sort of existential exploration about like, how the xenomorphs are made in the first film, and then like he just took that and just ran with it. It was like, no, this just has to go with like the creation of humans, and what it means to like meet our makers, and like how would our makers react if we meet them.
Yeah.
And that's like one of my favorite scenes in the film when they finally meet the engineer, and he just like, oh, he's creeped out.
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
And I think he's panicking. He's like, oh fuck. Like, imagine if like your sea monkeys that you grew like were just like, why did you grow us? Who are you? I would smash the fucking tank. I would just knock it off the ground and be like, nope, I went too far. Fuck.
You wouldn't play chess with them.
No, I would not play chess. I would flip the fucking chessboard on them, And I'm like, I relate to the engineer there, And it's a good thing, like commentary on AI then. because we have.
Because we created that.
Yes, because
Yeah.
I think he's shocked that they're speaking his language.
Right.
They're like, oh, this thing that they created is able to speak our language.
Yeah.
and it's just, I don't know. But then the only thing that just makes it like not a totally enjoyable experience is I don't think any of the characters are written well in that film.
That's the thing.
Any of the humans. Besides, I love David.
Yeah. He's
I
fascinating.
just think
He's the
all the other
standout.
characters are just like.
Cookie cutter,
You have
classic
Jobs as well?
archetypes. Yeah.
You have Fossbender. You get 2 great Fossbender performances.
Oh, I should have
Heck
put X-Men Origins. Or no, I should have put First Class in this.
Oh,
Oh,
that-
you could add a Fossbender triple feature. Oh, that's cool. But that's cool. You get 2
Yeah.
great
He'll be in
Fossbender
Mamma Mia
performances.
3.
Yeah. Sure.
He'll be in Mamma Mia 3.
Put
That's
him
the
in there.
last movie I'd ever seen.
He can get goofy. He can get silly.
Maybe.
He can. He's a little silly in The Killer.
I-
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a little
pretty
silly in that movie.
But like, and then once they try to introduce the more like traditional horror elements, that just makes you show you're like, oh, I don't care about any of these guys.
Yeah.
I'd rather just see them like explore the mystery. And I also love that Ridley Scott leaves enough mystery still.
For Covenant.
Yeah, not
Even
for Covenant,
further,
just
yeah.
just for the rest of it, because you're
That's
like,
true.
why did the engineers have this? You know, you still don't know, and I think that's cool.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, you saying like I feel like a good way to describe it is like it's not a particularly like emotionally captivating film, but it's a very intellectually captivating film.
Yeah,
So a lot of the ideas at play is great, but I wish it were packaged in a more emotionally compelling vessel.
I just think it's a very unique origin story for what it is. You know,
Yeah.
because it's not the origin of the franchise that people wanted, but it's the origin of the world behind the franchise.
and the ideas behind it, I feel.
Which is like much different than I think a lot of people expected. They probably expected,
Right.
oh, these guys made the Xenomorphs.
Yeah, everyone
that's
wanted
it.
to see like, oh, what how is the Xenomorph made?
Because like, how do you naturally have a creature just exist like that?
Yeah.
Especially with all the lore that is set up by the end of or even just throughout the first Alien movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this does a really good job at communicating that. Not that anybody was really asking, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, when watching the first Alien movie, I'm not like, how'd that ship get there? I was just thinking, oh, like this alien species was like wreaking havoc.
he was wreaking havoc on this ship,
Yeah.
and
So
now they're wreaking havoc on
it's
us.
like a parasite, you
Yeah.
know, sort of thing. But I think this just has really interesting ideas, like you guys are saying, and I think more so than anything, it's a great introduction to the world and not a specific person, which makes it so unique.
Yeah.
Cool.
Have you seen this movie from the last 10 years?
No, I saw it in theaters in 2012.
Wow.
It's a rated R movie, and at the time I was 13 years old.
Wow.
And
Do you
it was-
speak in?
No.
Call
no.
the police.
So my mom is like an Alien super fan. Like Alien and Aliens are like 2 of her favorite movies. So she took me and my friends to go see this, which is super nice of her because she was super excited.
Yeah.
And she hated it. She thought it
Yeah.
sucked.
Yeah.
And I think at the time, I think I was like a little young to engage with what Ridley was trying to do. This is what I'll say. Considering what we've seen franchise filmmaking become now,
Yeah.
you have to respect Ridley Scott for like pursuing the vision he wanted to make, not what the studio executives want.
Right.
See, but even then, like Fox, I miss them because they were one of the few studios to actually like greenlight consistently interesting diversions from IP. But even within IP, they did that.
Yeah.
I think they're still doing it though.
But it's not really
Prey.
them. It's
We
not
got
really
Prey.
them.
We got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Alien Romulus.
I
They're
don't.
in good hands.
A lot of people would disagree about Romulus.
Yeah.
There's
but
been a lot of criticism about the fan service.
They're weird.
And I liked that movie. I liked Romulus. I wasn't
Yeah.
a part of that discussion because I saw it after the fact. But I enjoy it. However, I can understand someone's discontent.
I can too. Yeah.
I
with,
see. I
with
see
the fan
the.
service there.
I see the Disney touches all over the
Yes.
movies, even if they're good,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like still like leagues beyond what we're seeing from other studios like Warner Brothers and Disney proper. But I just see their touches on it, and it's unfortunate.
I see their touch. I see a little bit of committee, but I don't see full committee because I still don't feel like Disney like has much stake in these.
No,
They're like, okay, we can make these for 80 mil and make a quick buck. We don't have to like be so anal about these films like we are with Star Wars and Marvel.
I mean,
you know?
it's the same thing with when they had Buena Vista Pictures or Touchstone back
Yeah.
in the 80s
Yeah.
and 90s. It's giving them another outlet to release films that doesn't necessarily need to be tied to Disney branding, but they still take in the benefits if they do become success.
Right.
So it's
Low
all about
risk,
branding.
high reward.
It's all about branding. But going back to Prometheus, Ridley Scott had a vision for what he wanted to do, and he pursued it. And you have to respect that. You know?
And I truly do.
Yeah,
and I hope he finishes his trilogy. Like, somehow, some way. I need to see
It's
what
gonna
David
happen.
does
If he's
next.
making Gladiator 2 at, 87 years old, however the hell old he is,
Yeah.
like, man, like, he can...
If
he
Gladiator
can do
2
it.
is a success, Alien Romulus is already a success. I would just be like, yeah, let him make his
him
last
cook.
Alien film.
See,
Get it out of his
We'll
system.
have Fede work on another Alien film while he's doing that. Like,
Yeah.
we'll keep the budget at $50 million for him or whatever. You know.
But
if he wants-
Prometheus is kind of like a cult classic within like a certain
Dude,
community.
since Romulus has come out, I feel like because people have had such vitriol for like the Disneyification of Romulus, like everyone's turned around on Covenant, specifically Covenant.
Covenant's getting a lot of
I am
love now,
surprised.
yeah.
Everyone's now calling Covenant like one of the best blockbusters of the 2010s.
Which is funny, because I remember seeing
okay.
that
And
when
I
it
remember
came
seeing
out
that,
with all
and
my
everyone
friends.
was like, "It was boring."
Yeah, my friends and I
Yeah.
did not have a good time with
I thought it was okay.
I thought it was good. I still consider. I remember just watching it. I was like, it's good, not great. And I watched it again. I'm like, yeah, it's good, not great. You know.
Yeah.
But everyone's now just like, no, this
coming
is
around
like
on it,
the
revisionists.
best blockbuster ever.
I mean, it's interesting.
And it's kind of cool.
It's interesting how you see this happen, because the same thing happened with Star Wars, where I
Yeah.
think people, after the sequel trilogy came out, people started revisiting the prequels and started reassessing their opinion on them.
Yeah.
And we're kind of seeing that here with the Alien movies a little bit too. Like movies that were typically cast to the side, kind of punching bags for jokes. Like
Yeah.
now that this new flavor has been added, people are kind of revisiting these and being like, wait.
Yeah.
Like, at least the filmmaker here
It was trying to say something.
trying to say something and do something new with
Yeah.
the property.
Not to say that Fetty hasn't, because I think Romulus.
No, I think Fede says a lot in his films,
Yeah.
but it is stuff that like has been explored before, but
They
with
are-
his own twist.
Romulus is a crowd pleaser.
It's a crowd pleaser,
It is
and
designed
I
to
am
be a
proud.
pleaser.
I am
And
proud, and I
I'm
was
a-
extremely
I was
pleased.
pleased.
Yeah, we were
I was in the
pleased.
crowd and I was pleased.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
But it's awesome that we have a franchise where we have both.
Yeah.
With
know?
a great origin.
Yeah.
Great, cool origin.
All right.
Okay, so everybody has their 3 films. I'm gonna let you two, if either of you two want to steal, you two still have one more steal left.
And then whoever, if they steal one, then
Then
the
they
person
can steal that film back because a film
they
can
can
be
steal
only
it back, or they can steal another film of their within that
Yeah,
within that person's stack.
The only one that I would be willing to trade
yeah, you can do trades too.
is the founder and Steve Jobs for the tone. But but like there's
That would be a crazy triple feature, Chris.
I don't want to ruin
Yeah,
his.
throw the founder in there.
You watch Prometheus and then the founder. Wait, can you do it? Please? That would be so funny.
It's just like I think it's so great how
Because
like
he has
dark
two
No, yeah,
and
you got your
perfectly is.
vision, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that would be
it
really
would
funny,
still
though.
be funny if you did that. But
'Cause
it's
I
up
feel
to
like
you. It's up to
Joey's lighthearted. I'm like dark-hearted, and you're like eclectic.
Yeah.
I'm happy to
Well,
call it a
this is-
truce, Brandon.
Okay. We're good. We're not trading.
Not trading.
We're
no
locked.
trades, no steals.
No. Nope.
So this is locked in.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I am gonna let you guys order this.
Okay.
So you can put in whatever order you want. We'll start with you, Brandon.
Okay.
I got it.
Give us your 3 and a little explanation as to why, and that will be like our wrap up for this.
Okay. Works for me. I'm gonna go chronologically speaking.
Chronologically.
So we're
let's
gonna
see.
go. The Founder, Godfather Part 2, Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
So you mean canonically?
Yeah.
Not
Not.
in release.
Yeah, not
Okay.
in release. And the reason for
Oh,
that
I see.
being is I think you start out with. I said the Founder first, right?
Yep.
The Founder, well, even though there are parts of the origin of Godfather which take place before the Founder,
Yeah.
as a whole, the movie takes place in the 70s
Yeah.
and 60s and such. Whereas the Founder is basically a 50s story. You start out light, then you hit him with the substance.
That wasn't very much of an impact.
Just laying on him.
Yep.
And I think there you hit them with the meat of the story, and then bam, you hit them with a very unique origin story, which kind of psychs you out at to begin with because you're like, wait, is this about James Franco's origin as like a scientist? And then
Yeah, this is a James Franco origin story.
and then bam,
And then bam.
that's a harder punch.
I think it also is a cool way to look at
The evolution of man.
the evolution of capitalism too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agreed.
That's interesting.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the finale is it all falling apart.
Yep. Because it's like
beautiful.
the humble, like trashy beginnings of late stage capitalism.
Yep.
The
and
middle
then how
se-
that turns into like organized crime.
Yeah, and then that turns into
Doom the world.
the doom the world from the scientists and the elites doing
From
the
a
organized
medical
crime.
perspective.
The blue collar, the white collar crime.
Yeah.
And then yeah, boom.
And
you
then
die.
monkey.
Great.
Great.
We should just go back to
We
that.
just go back.
Yes, and that's your thesis. You're like, look at all this shit.
Fuck it, go back.
Let's go back. That's a great.
Okay.
That is a great triple feature. What about
mine?
you, Chris?
I'm theming mine around the escalation of humanity
the opposite.
through psychotic narcissists.
Oh.
Starting with
Whoa.
Steve Jobs
Wow.
as someone who very much grounded in our reality. Guy who invented all this shit. And and then eventually moving on to Batman Begins, where we have a similar kind of Batman is kind of a narcissist.
He's a
believing
self-righteous.
Yeah, he's very
vigilante.
self-righteous,
And Rachel calls him out on that.
and he's totally I mean, no matter which way you bend it, Batman is a psychopath.
Yeah.
He's nuts for doing what
nuts.
he's doing. But yeah, and but for him, creating justice, and then eventually Prometheus, probably the greatest of self-righteous narcissists, creating
Wayland's
life.
kind of like Steve Jobs.
Yeah, and eventually all out creating life.
Yeah.
And also as it progresses, it gets more and more genre film-y, if you will. So
What if?
Yours is like
what if
tech.
Prometheus
Yeah.
is a sequel to that Steve Jobs movie, and they created David to look like Steve Jobs
Michael Fassbender.
because
That's where it
they're
comes
like
in.
Steve Jobs was the god of iPhone. Look, we can make God of technology as our servant, and that's
Oh,
why
boy.
Wayland's like. But now we have to find our makers. We have to find our Steve Jobs. Here's Steve Jobs' robot. Go find him.
And then he's like,
And he's
oh,
like,
I'm gonna
all
give
right,
it-
I'm gonna watch Lawrence of Arabia for like 2,000 years.
I'm seeing that tomorrow
Really?
on the big screen.
Oh, I'm
Oh, what
jealous.
theater?
Harkins Theaters.
Harkins, they're playing.
Want to
it?
come?
Oh, that's cool. I'm
Okay.
working.
Oh.
You all should go to
It's at
Harkins
7 p.m.
Theater near
7
you.
p.m. I'm getting dinner with my mother-in-law, so
I got class.
All right.
can't make it.
I got this show called America's Got Talent live Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m.
Tune in.
Tune in.
Free
You
plug.
might see me. I've been on TV a lot.
You're welcome, NBC.
Yeah, but
They've been showing my ass a lot on that show, and I don't like it.
I like it.
Okay.
All right. My
Joe.
dad texts you about it.
Yeah, he does. Hi, Sean. Okay, Joe.
Joey?
all right.
What's
we're-
your
We're
order?
having a fun time with my triple feature. We're
Yeah.
starting off with Mamma Mia. Here we go again. We got the wine pouring. We got the charcuterie board. You know that this is a dance party of a movie. You know, like people were having fun. We're just it's all about laughs. You know, with your friends, right? And then after that, once the wine has flowed through you, you know,
yeah,
maybe
once you
you've had
shit it
some
all out.
other
Yeah.
substances. You know, you're still kind of feeling it. You go into X-Men Origins Wolverine. Treat it like a riff track session, all right?
Yeah.
Talking through it is encouraged. Laugh at it. Throw popcorn at the screen.
Yeah.
Do whatever feels need to. If you need to use the bathroom, if you need to whatever. That's why you sandwich that movie in the middle. It's the least consequential.
Right.
But then you come at the end with what I consider some good quality entertainment, and that's Monsters University.
Yeah.
And also, like we said, that third act really hits.
It
And
does.
I think that's what you want to end the night with.
And you're already sober by then.
By that that point, things have you've really grounded yourself into the couch, and you're really absorbing it by that point, and you really take in just like a nice message about finding yourself and your place in this world.
And you'll sleep like a baby afterwards.
And you'll sleep like a baby. It's such a comforting movie to end the night with. So that's my stack.
Guys, I love all three of these. They're all so different, and I feel like this is like the best triple features that with a thorough line through them all so far in our draft episodes. So, nice job.
All right.
Life finds a way.
Good draft.
Life
Yeah.
finds a way.
So that'll do us for this episode of Stacked. Let us know what your favorite origin stories are. If you've seen Transformers since this episode's come out, let us know what you think about it. And that'll do us for this episode of the show, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you all next time.
Can you blur that? You can't have people coming to my house.
Drop them a visit.
Why not? All right, bye.
Whopper, Whopper, double Whopper. You live up.